If anybody can tell you about this, it is me. So if you need to make a pivot in your life and you are concerned or you're uncomfortable about the fact that there are so many unknowns involved, okay, well, look, that's just part of the package. But I don't want you to be afraid to make that pivot in your life and do whatever that thing is that you know that you're really meant to be doing. If you have something that you think is your real purpose in life and you've been putting it off, or maybe you've been finding excuses, not to pursue that purpose. So we are coming around to a new year in just a few weeks. I know that you may be thinking about making some major changes in the upcoming year. You may be thinking about transforming your life in a big way. You may be thinking about really becoming a different person and doing some things that you haven't done before. And that can be scary. And what I want to talk to you today about is getting comfortable with the idea of being a fish out of water. So before I get into that, let me tell you that I am Mark Johnson, the founder of Bounce Pep, bringing you a fit and flourishing future. I'm also the youngest son of Bill Johnson. I do want you to go to www.bouncepep.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, and subscribe to our email list, and you'll stay in the loop. So, with all that said, I am happy to have you here, and I appreciate you lending me your time and your ear. So, let's just jump right in. Let's just suppose that in the upcoming year, you are going to be making some big changes. You've decided that it's time to pivot and you need to do something differently or embark on a different mission, go on a different journey, have some different experiences. And along with that, obviously, comes unfamiliarity with what is coming. So, obviously, if you haven't done it before, then you're unfamiliar and you could have some feelings of apprehension, maybe doubt, even fear. And what I want to just remind you of is that, first of all, that's normal. Uh, you know, Sometimes you feel that way. Sometimes I feel that way. Everybody that we know at some point feels that way. Some kind of apprehension, maybe some doubt about a certain endeavor or a certain change they want to make. So, you aren't you aren't weak, you aren't strange, you aren't weird because maybe you have a little bit of discomfort or fear or apprehension. That's normal. So, with that said, I want to encourage you to get comfortable with the idea of being a fish out of water. And I have a unique perspective on this because, well, elephant in the room, as you can see, I am a black man. And if you don't know anything about me, some of you already know that I live in Japan. Okay, so I am a black man that lives in Japan. And as you can imagine, if you have ever been to Japan, you will know this. But if you've never been to Japan, let me just tell you, if you come to Japan, when you go out into the streets, you're not going to see people like me that look like me walking around everywhere. Okay. So, you know, my perspective is so unique because I started coming to Japan when I was very young. And, I always stood out because, I was, first of all, from a different country. I was black and everybody here is Japanese. Japan is basically about 97% ethnically Japanese. So, from their perspective, somebody like me just walking around living here, it's a bit of a novelty for them. And it takes some time for people to get accustomed to that, especially the first time they meet me. But my point is that, it never bothered me. I was comfortable with the whole situation, especially when I was young and everything was new. I was most certainly was a fish out of water because I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I can tell you that Japan is absolutely nothing like Detroit, Michigan. So coming here really opened up my eyes in a lot of different ways. And even though some things felt strange, I was very, very open minded. And, I didn't have any preconceived notions about cultural differences. being easy or difficult. I just took things as they were. And, I kind of just, fit in and felt comfortable. But I was always a fish out of water. And even today, that's still kind of the case. Now, when I say a fish out of water, I'm not saying that I'm uncomfortable. I'm simply saying that where I am here, I am kind of an anomaly. I am not the norm here. Okay. So I want you to understand that when you go and you make a major change in your life, whether it's a change in your career, whether it's a change in your relationships or whatever it may be, and you're stepping into the unknown, then you very well may feel like a fish out of water, and that's okay. Take things as they come. Try not to have a whole lot of preconceived notions about whether the the challenge is going to be difficult or hard or anything like that. Just take it as it comes and learn and try to enjoy as much as you can, so that even though you're a fish out of water, you are being proactive, you're being open-minded, and you're allowing new ideas and new experience to flood you, and you're growing, right? Because when you first start doing something new, the learning curve is going to be very, very high. And you need to have an open mind to take on all those new sensations and all that new information and everything. And all the new, maybe if it's something that you have to actually do, all the new tasks that are involved in doing that, you have to have an open mind. And no, everything may not be enjoyable all the time, right? But take it as it comes and understand that feeling like a fish out of water is normal. You'll get through it. Trust me. If anybody can tell you about this, it is me. So if you need to make a pivot in your life and you are concerned or you're uncomfortable about the fact that there are so many unknowns involved, okay, well, look, that's just part of the package. Of course, you can do some research, you can do some studying, you can talk to people, you can try to get information to get a sense of what's coming, but you're never really, really going to know until you step out and take the leap and do it. Okay. So I don't want you to be afraid of making big changes and going to different places and having new experiences and meeting new people. I want you to just embrace that whole challenge and understand that it's not only a challenge, it's an experience, it's an opportunity for you to grow. And it's okay to feel like a fish out of water. It's okay. Most of the times, I can tell you, people are not judging you anywhere near as harshly as you are judging yourself. So allow yourself to learn and make mistakes, maybe look foolish sometimes. That happens to us all. Don't worry about it. You'll get through it. Okay. But I don't want you to be afraid to make that pivot in your life and do whatever that thing is that you know that you're really meant to be doing. If you have something that you think is your real purpose in life and you've been putting it off, or maybe you've been finding excuses, not to pursue that purpose, then I want you to stop doing that and just work up the courage and just jump into it. Go for it. Go for it. It's time. It's time. Don't worry about feeling like a fish out of water, because you're going to feel like it. Basically, you can't do anything about that. You're going to feel like that anyway, especially in the beginning. Okay. So that is my message for you today. Just a very, very simple message. And I just wanted to offer you some encouragement. Go to www.bouncepep.com. Take a look around, read some things. And I'm going to leave you with that. I want you to take this with you. Talk to you next time.